Lisa is a life, power, and energy coach, author, motivational speaker, sound and energy healer, Beyond Blue ambassador, and founder of the She Rebellion. Lisa is a life coach for biz babes looking to redefine what business ownership truly is by rebelliously owning all of themselves. Using her signature framework of spunk, strategy, and spirituality has seen Lisa work with clients across the globe, and her work has been featured online in podcasts, print, and in media, including the Herald Sun, Channel 9 News, the Better Health Channel, ABC News, Natural Parent Magazine, and KidSpot. Lisa supports her clients to break free of the status quo and lead without apology, codependency, or conformity. She teaches you that you don't need to hustle harder. You need to break up with the idea that you don't deserve it. Lisa will guide you to confidently be the face of your brand, powerfully use your voice to create a deep impact in the world, and reconnect with the soul of your business. Welcome to the Mad Marketing Moms podcast, Lisa.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me here. I am really looking forward to diving into the juicy, delicious conversation today.
And we are as well, for sure.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So Lisa, tell us a little bit more about yourself as in Lisa as the human, and I guess how the She Rebellion came about. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, Clem and I were discussing earlier, we'd really love to know what a power and energy coach is exactly. So I've just given you 3 questions all at once.
So my ADHD brain is just like, bam, 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 bam. Okay.
Which one do I answer first? Sorry.
Yeah. So let's go with the first one. So I'm a mum of 2 young energy forces. They keep me on my toes, they keep me real, and they were the catalyst for me becoming a solo entrepreneur. So being a stay-at-home mum for 4 years, I thought there's got to be more than life than this. I can't go back to the regular 9 to 5. I don't want to. And also there was this sense of disenchantment around having that happily ever after that I had been sold once you have your family. And I thought, surely there's some other women who feel the same. Surely there's some mums who are like, can I swear on this?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Go for
Okay,
it.
cool. Surely there's some other mums who are going, what the fuck am I doing here? How did I get here? And this can't be it. And so I first created a business called Bad Mums Club, which was running events for mums to tick off their to-do list. And I identified very, very quickly that they would come and live their hashtag best life for 3 hours. And then the overwhelming response was, but I've got to go home. I didn't know how much I needed this. I didn't know how much I wanted this, but now I've got to go home to my real life. And in that moment, my heart broke for them because I knew what that felt like, being someone with postnatal depression, anxiety and depression on the daily. And so I knew I had a responsibility here to step beyond the event space. So I went and trained, became a certified life coach. So to steer into that a little bit more, 2020 came along and events were dead, and I needed to step into the leadership role that I knew I was destined to have. And so the She Rebellion was born. I noticed not only just in the mum conversations, I stepped into more the entrepreneurial space and the small business lens and the service provider lens of what is that gap that we are being sold, we are being taught around what business ownership is, looks like, feels like, and how it adapts into our real life, and what success means and how we base our worth on the profit or loss figure, the algorithm of the likes and the followers, and how it really affects our mental and emotional, physical, spiritual health, all of that. And I have been there and done that and had the mental breakdown to prove that the hustling harder does not equal success, worthiness, love, happiness, all the things we've been sold around entrepreneurship. What does is being true to yourself, being solid in who you are as a human being and embracing your uniqueness. So with regards to the power and energy side of being a coach, I'm a feminist, and I invite other female identifying folk to step into their innate power. And so I remind them of their sovereignty, of reclaiming their space, of sharing their voice, of stop hiding, being silenced, staying small. And the energy part is, it's kind of funny. Well, I find it funny because I don't think maybe 5 years ago I would have ever have brought this into a conversation around business, but I deal with the energetics of people's business. So not only their energy of what they give out into the world, but what they get back and how that can really affect their output and capacity within their business. I also am an energetic healer. So I kind of get downloads from the universe and can help my clients with things that possibly they didn't even know was a block or was part of their lineage, or, you know, we get to dance in things far beyond the business hat and framework when I coach with them. That's me.
Oh, this is, oh my gosh, Lisa, you are like the multi-threat, right? Like, she's doing all the things. Amazing. I really love that. And I love this whole idea. And this is kind of what underlies the podcast, is this idea that what all the bro marketers and stuff are teaching, or the entrepreneurs, or the, my 6-figure business folks out there, right? I say teaching, what they're forcing down our throats is this idea of here's what success looks like. And if you're not doing that, you're wrong. And so I really love that you are challenging that and saying, this is BS, right? Because it is. And especially for working parents who have everything else to juggle, it's just not realistic sometimes. Yep, some people might be able to do it, great. But if you are struggling, with all the things, with your mental health, with your physical health, with neurodiversity or any kind of, physical, I don't want to say impairment, what's the right word? Restrictions.
Disability.
Exactly, disability,
Yeah.
You name it, right? Or you just don't want that as your lifestyle, then yeah, we need to embrace these other, I guess, ideals about success. So cool. I'm excited to chat a bit more. Okay. So Clem, you had a bit of a question for Lisa.
Yeah. So just since we're going to continue on to the business mindset thread, what are some common misconceptions or limiting beliefs that you see business owners having when it comes to showing up and showing as their true self?
Yeah. So I don't know what year this came out or when this started, but this idea in inverted commas showing up. And so I've got an acting background and I performed for 3 years and got trained to show up. And so this idea that it's sort of bled into how we are online is that we show up and we perform. It's performative. And so it's removed from ourselves. And somehow me online is out here and I'm behind it. And it's this masking. And so I don't really like to say showing up online. I like to say I'm online. I'm just online. And it removes the mindset around having to be someone else, more of what you think you need to be. There's this whole, like Kroesche, mentioned this already, this bro marketing. Makes me want to vomit. Toxic masculinity that even women push as well with their internalized sexism. There's this idea that you have to be like big and bold and brash and outgoing and really out there, super confident, super hot, super, desirable, all these things if you're going to be visible, which then means that you're not enough, right? If you don't fall into that category, that you need to be more experienced or more qualified or more well practiced to be online and be visible as your business and brand. But it's a huge load of BS. What it is capitalist, consumerist, white supremacist, patriarchal conditioning. Full stop. Mic drop.
That is mouthful. Say that again.
Yeah, right. 3 times fast.
Yeah. So true.
It's this conditioning that we have. So no wonder we feel this way, right? That we have to show up, be like on TV, on the screen. We're relating our businesses and how we share and call in our ideal clients, how we sell online, as if we're on TV, on what we see in the movies. But they're performing. They're a character or a caricature. And I really like people to become very aware and very intentional around what they share online, because it's a choice, and how they want to share their magic and their wisdom with their ideal clients. So I don't really say audience. How I know that when I'm talking online, there are going to be people who, friends, family, people who stumbled across me, but I speak as if I'm talking to my ideal clients. They're not an audience to me, they're my community. And I think there's that just that really slight mindset shift around what is it you're doing here? What's the point here? What's the reason for you to be here? If you're here to add to the noise, if you just want to take up space, then go for your life. But if you want to represent and further your brand, if you're here to impact the world, as I am, then I am making sure that every moment counts. So don't waste it and stop fucking around.
Yes, Mom.
Yes. I really like that distinction. And I think sometimes it's just semantics and you say a word or you write a word without thinking so much. But I love that using community versus audience as a business owner, as somebody who's trying to build a brand. For the influencers out there and the people who want to be picked up, by talent agents and what have you, doing their dances on TikTok, audience absolutely makes sense. And so this is, again, it highlights the difference between the way that we use these platforms as business owners versus consumers, or versus people who want to be influencers or want to build that personal brand. So yes, I really love that. Ooh.
Even to that, like an add-on to that is, we're online. If we want to be treated like humans online, then we need to speak to our community like they're humans online. And so they're not a dollar sign. They're not a number. They're another human. So I think we need to strip it right back and say, okay, even if you are an influencer and that's like your currency, is that you need to convert, the best way to convert is to make someone feel seen, heard, and acknowledged. So how are we doing that? In a way that is safe, educated, and by that I mean not be culturally inappropriate or not being overtly sexist, or, or even not overtly sexist, not being sexist. Let's not be pigs here. But how are we representing ourselves as a human to better humanity instead of just trying to convert to profit?
What I tell some clients as well when they're like, it's just putting up a post or, something like that, this is what you get when you are in the business that we are in. It's just slapping a post and then you can forget about it. It's like, well, no, you are interacting with human beings. It just doesn't happen to be face to face.
Yeah.
And they can look at your stuff on their terms, not when you post it.
And it's a privilege. It's a responsibility and a privilege to be in someone's view.
Yeah.
So even though it's like slapping up a post, which I've been there, I've had the love-hate relationship with social media, like Kroesche knows. I've had it all. And I used to just go, oh my God, it's a beast. I hate it. I don't want to be a part of it. And then what flipped for me is it's like, I get to share my wisdom with people for free. And like, that's a gift. That's a privilege that I have. So if your mindset is I'm just pushing shit out just to be visible, I'm pushing out those free Canva images, or like a TikTok that's just me doing like pointing for no reason, like there's no rhyme or reason behind it, because you think that you just like more is more. It's just not. It doesn't convert. People sniff bullshit out and they will flick past, unfollow you quicker than you can even think. So don't waste their time and don't waste your time.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you've sort of answered the next question that we had here, but I'd love to dive in a little bit more about, I guess, some of the things that may be holding people back from, and I'm going to say it, showing up in inverted
Yeah,
commas, but claiming that space online is what we're really talking about, because there's a lot of people that are too scared to do that, to talk to camera, to share their wisdom
totally.
with their audience. So, what do you feel like people need to? I mean, you answered this slightly before, but if you've got any other wisdom around that, would love to hear it.
Yeah, so even though I say like it's a right and it's a privilege, and I get on my little rant box here, I'm I say it with so much love, with it. I get it. And for some folk, it can be really hard to break through. And it's not just like that they don't care, they care really deeply and they're stuck in fear, right? And the way that we can work with our mindsets all around awareness. You don't just dissect your whole lived experience as soon as you become a business owner. If anything, it just amplifies everything that you thought you could run from and hide. Your small business is a direct mirror of the things you need to work on because it represents you, right? And so, of course, being visible can for so many feel unsafe. Totally get that. It's constantly reinforced, right? That it's not a safe world, especially if you're female identifying. So releasing ourselves around the shame and the guilt that we might have around these beliefs that we hold. Okay. It's not come overnight. These are stories that we've told ourselves over and over, and it's been reinforced throughout our lives. We didn't just wake up one day and go, I hate myself because. So how it has been reinforced, have that awareness, get really curious, and come at it from a place of love instead of berating yourself that you've done something wrong, or that you are lesser or unworthy or it's your fault. I feel that we worry so much about being cancelled, being called out, being belittled, being trolled, all the things, because we have seen it or experienced it, because we've had it in our real lives. And so we feel like it's going to be even more so online. Yeah, we can't escape it because it's not just your community, it's like the whole world is watching. And what I like people to kind of just dial it back a bit. Yeah, it's a low stakes game. It can feel really, really big and really scary, but it's a low stakes game. There's far more serious things going on in the world than you selling online. So just rein it back in. Minimize the beast that you think that it is. Yeah, make it your friend. Get curious and play, because it's a choice to be online and to be the face of your business and brand. So you can keep hiding and be small and silent and let them win that huge, long, capitalist, consumerist, white supremacist, patriarchal beast that it is. You can let them win, sure, by staying unseen, silent, and small and unheard. Or you can make a choice and rebel. And I choose to rebel. I choose to use my voice because I've got something to say. I want to be seen because that's how people get to know my jive. People often, they see me who I am, and I have boundaries around that online, but they see who I am online and they're like, oh my gosh, you're actually a human. It's really nice, to relate to someone that way. That's how it's a visual medium. We live in a society where we're beasts that enjoy the visual delights that we have. And so I sort of say get strategic around it, set boundaries around it. Don't be reactive when you're online, be really intentional, and find out what it is you stand for, what it is you want to say, and how you want to do it. And then go from there.
I think that's answered the next question. I think that's brilliant. It's like you're psychic. You know exactly what the next question is, and you flow right into it. I've got a question actually about what you're saying with boundary setting. Do you think there's is it to you, I guess, from your perspective, is there a difference between secrecy, privacy, publicity? I'm going deep.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. So, yes, there is a difference, but it is individual. So your idea around what that is going to be very different to what mine is because of my upbringing, my lived experience, and what I feel comfortable sharing, my neurodiversity, my mental illness, all the things. When we are on a platform that is so visible, so reactive, so public, we can forget that it's a choice to set boundaries around how much we share. I don't share everything. I don't talk about my marriage. I don't show images of my kids' faces. I ask permission from them before I do, if I share anything about them. And I've learned the hard way what it is to share when there are people in your life that can be hurt from what you share. So I guess I ask myself, what's the end game here? What's the reason for the share? Secrecy to me says like you're hiding something and there's a manipulative reason for it. I don't have secrets. I just choose not to share all the stuff because it's not building my brand or my legitimacy or my credibility as a business owner.
It's none of your clients' business as well.
But they don't ask. No. They're not even asking. So, like, sure, I can sit here and tell you what I had for breakfast. I can tell you about my sex life. I can tell you about my belief systems around, gosh, Trump.
Don't get me started.
Right. But my clients aren't asking to hear that. What they want to know is how I can help them be a more confident, free, fun business owner. So there's this, it's a funny idea because we haven't caught up with our morals and value system, and us as a society has not caught up with how rapidly changing, this platform is for us. And this idea that we have to share all to be honest. I really question where that messaging has come from. Who's taught us that we need to do it? And I guarantee that male identifying folk don't sit here and ask this.
No.
So why is it that female identifying folk have this need to justify, over-explain, and apologize for how they are online? Why do we feel that we need to share everything and open ourselves up for retribution, rejection, trolling, all the things? How do we think, or how do we believe that airing out my dirty laundry or my dirty little secrets is going to, A, be of benefit to my ideal clients, but be of benefit for me because I come first? Profit and loss statement means jack shit if I'm on the floor in a heap, in an anxiety spiral. So again, it ties into our conditioning around that we have to share everything and get approval for it. So this, like, I give you a little bit, you give me a reward. I give you a bit more, you give me more of a reward. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not asking for approval. I'm here with intention. And if you want to listen, here we go. Let's roll, let's rumble. But if you're going to sit here and shame and criticize me, then scoot on by, because you're not welcome here, because this is the boundary that I'm creating within the She Rebellion and you in your businesses as well. I'm not opening myself up for an open slather. And we shouldn't. I think we should expect more and accept no less.
Yes. And I saw on one of your podcast episodes, you were talking about having that digital clean out and just unfollowing en masse. I'd love to know if you've encountered any trolls online and how you've dealt with them.
So I've been online for over 5 years now, and I've thousands of hours of me chit-chatting. And you know, what I talk about today, this is from learned experience. Like, I haven't always felt this way, but in the last couple of years with the climate that's changed, this is how I now interact with this platform. I've not been trolled. Touch wood, touch all the wood. Here we go. I've not been trolled. I've been criticised. I have had unhelpful comments. I have had people call me out, because that's apparently helpful. I've had people pull me up in my personal and professional life around things that I have shared. It has reflected more on them than it has on me or what I have shared. Because of the way that I share, the intention behind my share, and also I not that I fly under the radar, but I'm not out here spouting hugely controversial perspectives here. And if you did come in and troll me, and please don't, because I just don't have the time or energy. Like, I got kids that troll me every single day of my life. This is not my first rodeo. You're not going to get anything from it. If you want something in that trolling, then find someone else, babes, because I just don't have the energy for it. So I did have a great fear about sharing more openly about my mental health when I was part of a nationwide campaign, when I aligned with the Victorian government to talk around postnatal depression. And I thought, oh God, we're going to get this whole thing. Crickets. I did get a lot of people saying thank you, like positive feedback, helpful feedback. Crickets with the criticism. So if that is your biggest fear for being online, what I'd do is ask you to go, but do you do that? Do you do that online? Do you see something that you don't agree with and jump into their DMs and be like, you got to check yourself? You don't. You scroll on by, or you disagree, but you don't vocalize. I think the trolling element, I think we worry too much about that.
I always think about there's a meme about Leonardo DiCaprio, and I think it's because Justin Bieber wanted to come sit next to him, and he's like, I don't like you. I don't like, you don't have space. I'm hanging out with my friends. Can you please leave me alone? And it's Leo just going like this, like, just go away. And that's what I'm like with trolls. I'm like, you have no space in my universe and in my little cocktail parties that are in the comments of my TikToks. You're going to get blocked. You're not going to get responses from anyone because you don't merit them. You're not part of this party. We don't have time to waste in energy to waste in dealing with people like that, because they're never going to come to your side. You're not going to win any points anywhere with anyone by responding to them. I don't think.
Yeah. So what I learned, this was something I learned from my speaker background, worrying about people calling out during, something that I would be speaking at. You're not there to convert the people at the back, in the back row. You're not there to shout louder so they can hear you. You are there for the people in the front row, the second row, and the third row who are believers, who are there for you, who want to hear what you want to say. So the trolls, they're at the back of the room, even half out the door. So why am I wasting my breath and energy on them when I've got people who need me, want me, and deserve what I've got? It's just like, bye, Felicia. I got I got no time for you.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. I love it. And I always think to myself, when I have these imaginary conversations in my head, which I often do, I say much worse things to myself on a daily basis than anybody could write on the internet. So
Yeah. And so to bolster that, right? Because people, it's still going to be a fear. Okay, because we were called the ugly chick at school, or we were picked last at sport at school, or we were, we never dated, or like I'm reflecting my, my upbringing here, but so it's real for people. It is a real fear. So what do we do with that? Okay, so it's fine to say, and I think, you have to be a couple of years in the biz and being online for you just unfollow, you don't care and all that. So, okay, for people starting out, bolster your protection. Do the inner work. Set safety boundaries. If you are worried about what's coming back, it means that you're not rock solid in who you are. Like, sure, people call me stuff and I'm like, well, that's pretty shit. I'll think about it for a weekend and then I'll just be like, but is it true? Is what they're saying really true about me? 99% of the time, it's not. And if it is something that hurts me deeply, then I need to question why. What's the truth in that? Make yourself feel as whole, because you are whole anyway, but make yourself feel as strong and powerful as you possibly can. And this is why I work with business women, because you're going to come up against it at some point, and it's not going to be necessarily online. It's going to be with people you collaborate with, or, arsehole clients, or, all the kinds of things. This is just a life lesson. The more solid you are in who you are, the less you care about what people think about you.
yeah. It also helps to be over 40, I think. Because
damn it, I'm not at that stage yet.
like
something to look forward to.
Yeah, zero fucks to give, right?
No, I'm there. I'm there. Want to talk about transparency, honesty, and vulnerability, because you posted a TikTok about being transparent at a networking event and how you saw two people at this event who were really faking it and thinking that they've made it, in a way where they were just beefing themselves up and talking themselves up when really in the end they had nothing to stand on. And what I have noticed as well is this is coming across any channel in a way. So, but in a way of where people are coming out as being vulnerable and being transparent about themselves to their audience, and it backfiring. So, for example, on LinkedIn, there was a CEO who posted a photo of himself crying, saying that he had to just lay off a bunch of people and how emotional he was being, blah, blah, blah. And people just ripped him apart for being disingenuous. There have been nurses that you see them put the phone down in the hallway and then they're bawling their eyes out because they've lost a patient, and people have ripped into them going, you were taking advantage of, what's the point of this? Why are you trying to get sympathy, or like, what's your intention, as you say? So yeah. I guess my question is, where do you see that line when it comes to transparency and being honest and being vulnerable, where you are being a genuine person, and then where is that line getting crossed? And how can people just make sure that they're keeping themselves in check when it comes to being, say, intentional and showing up within their business?
Oh, so many ways we
I
can go
know.
with this.
I'm going so deep.
So first I'd like to address the networking
Mm-hmm.
event that I went to with regards to that TikTok. So the people who stood out for me were, and the reason why I created the TikTok was that they were new in business and they were trying to establish themselves, but coming from a place of feeling deeply insecure about being in a room full of people who had years of experience or bigger client bases or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm assuming because of their behavior. And it was that they needed to talk themselves up to blatantly lie about their experience or to kind of pad out their qualifications. And my intention for creating that TikTok and kind of like say, just be transparent with where you're at. People value honesty. And very quickly, we can tell if you're being dishonest. Now, as an energy coach, I pick it up pretty much straight away. You're just a vibe, and I can sniff bullshit a mile off. But I went in and found social proof. So if you're going to lie and then give me your business card, I'm going to go and, if you introduce yourself and hand me your business card or make me follow you on Instagram or et cetera, I'm going to go and have a look, right? You've invited me in. I'm curious. Let's see what we do. And this is what our clients will be doing. Okay. Very, very quickly, I knew what they had sold me in their introduction was a lie. And the consequence of that is I will never refer a client to them. I will never use their services. I will never recommend them, because if they're lying to me about something so basic, then what else are they lying about, or what else will they lie about? So for instance, if you are going to a networking event or anywhere and you don't have the years of experience or the huge qualification, go there as a learning experience. Be really honest about, hey, yeah, I'm just starting out. I can't wait to learn. Got any, any suggestions for me as I'm growing my business? Instead of going and going, hey, I'm like fucking bro here, come follow me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm. It's that energy that you go into the room with.
It's LinkedIn in real life.
You can 100% claim your space, be powerful, be strong, and also be inexperienced. Because the only way you're going to get experience is by doing the thing, right? Be open to learning, be curious. Don't lie, but you also don't have to share everything. So for someone with ADHD who I overshare, this is a learned skill that I've had to take on board because it was repelling potential clients and collaborators, because I would share more and share more and share more. And I'm like, well, they're like going to get their second champagne. They're not interested with what I've got to say, So with regards to, so that was that. And then with regards to what you're saying about being online and this, sharing their selfie cam, why are they sharing it? Could they not have this experience and turn the camera off? What is the benefit? What is the reason why they're sharing it? Is it to get likes, followers, a paid partnership? Is it to exploit an experience? Is it to bring attention onto something of value? Because there is a time where that is very much called for and has worked for people. It has brought to light injustice, inequality, all the things. But if I'm crying because someone has passed away, am I crying because of how I feel? Or am I crying because I want people to feel something for me?
Mm.
What are you doing that is minimizing the human experience to be just clickbait?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of faux vulnerability. We spoke about this actually with
Yeah.
Holly, didn't we, a few
Yeah, we
episodes
did.
ago? And she was saying it's sort of become this trend online, this sort of fake vulnerability, because, like you said, it may get likes and comments, and it's that kind of clickbait or watch bait.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we are using Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever for business purposes, I think we have to remember that we need at least some semblance of credibility and being professional, even, and you can do that in your own unique way and in a way that feels right for you. But yeah, first and foremost, it needs to be valuable for your potential clients or customers.
I think it's so rampant nowadays that when I'm scrolling through social and I see a vulnerability post, or it says this is going to be a vulnerability or I'm being vulnerable, I immediately scroll. I'm like, that is just being dishonest with who you were trying to send that out to off the bat.
But isn't that a shame? Because
Mm.
then we're missing the meaning of what true vulnerability
Yeah.
is. We're making it into something that it's not by putting a hashtag in front of it.
Yeah.
And this is like the whole self-care movement got quashed with the bloody self-care hashtag. So I really want people to think about what vulnerability actually means to them, because vulnerability is something that is felt and something that can be shared, but we can't control how other people will experience it. And there is a responsibility on what we share, on how it will land, and hence why you put disclaimers, right? So people can make that choice. Is there too much oversharing? Possibly. Is there too much vulnerability? Maybe. There are people who are sharing real stories that can change people's lives. So I don't want to say like don't, but we're sort of, I think you can get really confused as a business owner on the difference between representing your business and brand and trying to be a celebrity.
Mm.
So these people who you've mentioned on, LinkedIn and TikTok, are they actually being a business owner, or are they just trying to be a celebrity?
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes back to the whole thing of the screen being on TV, right?
Yep.
So use your discernment. Make a choice on what you want to be and how you want to interact on this platform. And just don't be a dick.
Yes. Put it on a t-shirt.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick. How do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy?
Mm.
How are you in line with your morals and values? And how do you want to sleep at night?
Love it. All right. Let's wrap things up. And we've got a few fun little quick fire questions for you as well, Lisa. Before we get to that, thank you once again for joining us today. It's been so enlightening, so many good takeaways here. I would like to ask you, is there one action that you would recommend our listeners take today to really own that space online, to show up, in inverted commas, in the best possible way and for them and for their business?
Yeah. So I thought about this question a lot. And I know within this whole conversation, your listeners might be feeling quite heavy and feeling like, oh my God, this is really serious. It's like make or break, and I can really fuck this up. And there's so much pressure, and I've got responsibilities now, and I didn't even know I had them. And now I have to be vulnerable and truthful and honest and all this. Oh my God. Have fun. Yeah. Have fun. Play, practice, be curious, drop all expectations on what you think it needs to look and sound like. And also the expectation around how it's going to be received. If you're showing up online to convert, it's a really unhelpful energy. Share your wisdom, be creative, tap into your inner child, play and have fun, because that is the way you'll then be more consistent. And that is how people will be drawn to you, because they'll resonate with that energy.
Yes.
They want to be around fun and playfulness. So just do that.
Preach. I love that. And you know I'm a big advocate for this, Lisa, because Lisa did Instagram Unpacked with me a few years ago. And one of the things that I bang on about is if you create content that you enjoy creating, then you're going to do more of it. You're going to be more consistent. It's going to feel easier, and it's going to take less time. So I love that you have said that. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. All right, quick
She
fire.
had a good teacher.
Oh, exactly. Of course. Quick fire question for you, Lisa, because I know you are a rock chick at heart, and would love to know, what is your number one hype song when you need to pump yourself up? What are you putting on at max volume?
Oh, okay. So I instantly said AC/DC's Back in Black. But then on reflecting, it's whatever I can crank up, swear to, sing at the top of my lungs, and when doing school pickup, get other parents wish they were doing the same.
Yes. Oh my God. I like putting on nice heavy electro with heaps of bass and winding the windows down as I drive past school.
I put on Rage Against the Machine.
And I was playing Rage Against the Machine on my walk home yesterday.
Next episode's another good one, I think, for if you want to have a good sing-along and a swear, like...
because it's a teaching moment, right? We're teaching our kids about life, so why not have a scream and a swear?
Yes, love this.
Oh, sorry, it's my turn.
We're now thinking about our next dance party.
Yeah, exactly. What is your top tip for busy parents in business?
Oh, this could have gone any which way.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back to that near enough is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
In your life, in your parenting, and in your business.
Yes. Take the pressure off, right? Like you were saying before, no one's going to die if you put up a bad social media post or have a typo in your blog or whatever that is.
But if you're waiting for perfection to happen or the perfect time or for you to feel like amazing, it's never going to happen. It just doesn't. And you can put something up or put something out there or email something through, create an offering, just, tap away at it, okay? And just work at it. Be really compassionate with yourself. I have tried to push out, and, I did it yesterday as well. So I'm not like, it's an ongoing thing, right? We're not just a one and done quick fix here. It's an ongoing learning experience as we evolve, because you go, once I get to that level, like it's done. It's like, no, you've just reached the next level. So you're going to keep growing and keep moving and keep working your way up. But I know to not try and put a really insightful post together when I've got my kids around me, because I've tried to do the parenting 101 with that, and all the things of not. If you got your phone on you, you got your phone on you. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. And there's this huge, there's almost this hierarchy of how good of a parent you are if you're not engaged or your kids don't watch screen. There's no screen time. Fuck me. If you get out of bed in the morning and can have a shower or let's be honest, go to the toilet by yourself, you're already winning. So if you're trying to run a business and you rock up, like, you should see what's happening under the desk here. Like, it's a train wreck of an outfit. Train wreck of an outfit. But near enough is good enough.
Yeah.
It's okay. And you're also giving your ideal clients permission to be human as well.
Mm.
They don't want to work with a robot, and they definitely don't want to work with perfection because it makes them feel like shit.
That reminds me of a LinkedIn post that Marcus Sheridan put up, I think, yesterday, and it was about the term balance and how, you know, work-life balance, et cetera, and stuff. And he's an entrepreneur, speaker, and what have you. And he was saying how people are saying you need to find that work-life balance. You know, you work this many hours, so you should have personal time for this long. And he was saying how, well, for me, my personal work-life balance is having my family come with me on a work trip. You know,
Yeah.
I might go and do a speaking gig, and they might go and enjoy whatever city we're in, and I'll go and meet up with them, you know, and we mix kind of the two. But apparently, according to some people, that's not a work-life balance. He's like, but it is to me, and it works for me, and it works on his terms. So it's like finding that balance of what is going to work for you, so you have each balance level.
It's a balancing act,
Yeah.
a constant balancing act.
Constantly.
And the people who came out with the idea that you had to have, you know, all these things, guaranteed was a man.
Yeah, and he had, you
Right?
know, maybe
because then it's
it's
making you say you can't be an entrepreneur because you need to be there for your family. And if you are in your business, you're letting your family down. And if your family's unhappy, then you should give up the one thing that you can, because you can't give up your family, so you should give up your work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that individual that's come up with that concept also probably had someone else behind him doing all the things.
Yeah. It's a myth and it's a lie. The work-life balance is a lie. I don't work 9 to 5. I work between the school bells. I work when I wake up in the morning, and I work when I'm watching TV at night. But I also am okay with that.
Mm.
And if I don't want to work on the weekend, then I don't.
Mm.
And if I do in an Uber on a way to somewhere, then I do. Take the pressure off that it needs to look a certain way, and stop. We need to put it into categories. Like, I can just have a lobotomy and go, not a work person now, I'm now a mum. Put my mum hat on. It doesn't work. I have had so many anxiety spirals trying to chase that elusive work-life balance. It is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Mm.
And some days, I don't know about you, Lisa, I've mentioned this to Glenn before, we'll get together for a podcast meeting at 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, I feel like I've already worked a full day just getting the kids out the door to somewhere on time. And sometimes you come back home and you're like, now to switch and be a capable adult worker, you know, it's like after you've been screeching wildly in the morning and there's cereal thrown across the floor that you have to then go chip away at because the sun came in through the window and it's dried to your floorboards.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I say. But yeah, it's like, oh, okay, quick, switch now to this other mode. You're just still the same person.
You're still the same person, and also then you work within your capacity, right?
Mm.
And so circling like quickly back to then being online, if I go online and I'm like, oh my God, I just had the worst morning because I was screaming at my kids and I really wanted to create this offering for you today, this PDF, it's just not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm relinquishing myself of all guilt and shame around that and the expectation the timeline's pushed out, because I know you appreciate it. And I also know that the content of this PDF is so on fire and is so much going to change your life that you can wait another day.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that sound more like you go, I can't wait for this PDF. P.S. What a legend. She's actually honoring herself and she cares about me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you're not scrambling to put out any old shit because of this imagined timeline.
You get to create your own timeline. You get to create your own, God, I can't even speak anymore. You get to create your own boundaries. It's a choice. You chose to be an entrepreneur. It takes a lot to run your own business. You chose to hop out of the status quo, off the hamster wheel. You didn't want to be part of that beast. So don't go and do more of the same and put that same expectation on yourself in the frame that you have as an entrepreneur. Otherwise, you might as well just hop back in the 9 to 5, get your sick, paid, super, all of that.
Deal with the office politics. Oh.
Like, right? So it was a choice. So don't forget that you have choices in every element, facet, part of your business.
Yes. Yes. I love this. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's wrap things up because, Lisa, I am very aware of your time here. Thank you once again for joining us. And if people want to work with you and want to find out more, where is the best place to connect with you? What have you got going on that may be of interest to our audience?
So the best place to come and play is over on Instagram. TikTok, I'm there and I just share little bits, but then I get off, right? So DM me on Instagram, troll me if you want, like, let's go for it. Come and play. You can also go to my website, www.sherebellion.com, and it will have everything and every which way that we can either work together. You can come to one of my events, which is either online or in person. And very, very soon, I'm going to be opening up a private Facebook group called Rebels Playground. And this is going to make you 2023. I'm not even going to give you a date because I don't even know when it's happening yet. But you need to either hop on my email list, which you can via the website, or follow along on Instagram, because there's going to be some amazing masterclasses and touch points that we can start setting your biz world on fire.
Amazing. That sounds so good. Excellent. Well, we will, of course, link to Lisa's socials and her website and all of that good stuff in the show notes, so you can head on over there and grab those, especially if you're out and about and listening to this podcast and you don't have a pen and paper or a way to write down all of that information. But yes, thanks once again, Lisa. Such a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, it's just a delight to see your face again. It's been ages since we've caught up. So yeah, really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Lisa.